Good day, guys, us today, and in this one today, we're taking a look at GameEx, one of the most original and, well, most complete front ends that you can look at today. And this has been around since the birth of emulation, front ends, and this scene in general, so these guys know what they're doing. It doesn't only do your games, it does your media, your TV shows, any kind of media that you can throw at your PC. This can organize, this can show you, and this can launch, to be honest. It's all round a pretty much polished front end. So in this video today, I'm going to get you up and running with a simplistic basic install. I'm going to show you some of the basic features that it has, and then in further videos we're going to take this one stage further, showing you how to customize, how to add various other features, and of course the long awaited Evolution version of this front end. It's a good one. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is get the basic setup on our computer so you can play around with, customize, and get the front end running. I'm going to show you how easy this front end is to set up. Trust me guys, this is one of the easiest and most simplistic yet versatile front ends that you will come across. Right, first thing you need to do is in the description down below you'll see a link more than likely to a website guiding you, if my mouse will work, here. Now this is the official GameEx website. Now everything that you will need to know in terms of information, downloads, support, everything will be located on this website. There is also a very active forums there full of all kinds of top-notch guys who have been in this scene for a long time. They're very welcoming to newcomers, so if you've got any questions or anything like that, fire away at those guys and I'm sure they will do their best to help you out. This is an awesome place to hang out and, well, just be in this scene. However, we're not here to make new friends. Well, we are, kind of. We're here to download and get this set up on our system. So click on the Downloads tab here, and this will guide you to this section of the website. Now click on the download here, and this will guide you to this website, which is the official download section for GameEx. Now, as you can see, it's GameEx version 14.454, should I say. Now, obviously, by the time you watch this video, it could have had further iterations, which mean that the number may change. But in terms of the actual procedures and schematics for actually setting this up on our system, hopefully it won't have changed because it's damn simple the way it is. Right, first things first, this is where you download it. If this tab is not showing, then you need to be logged in. If you haven't got an account on the website, just simply make one. It's not exactly rocket science. Sign yourself in and you will now gain access. Everything that I'm going to show you in this section is completely free. You don't need to worry about any kind of donations, subscriptions, anything like that. It's all going to be free. Okay, once you've done that and you've clicked on this tab and you've listened to me waffle on for about 10 years, you end up with this file somewhere on your computer, whatever it is your default download location is. For me, I've just done it to my desktop here. Right, this is the compressed file, which means that you need to uncompress, decompress, or extract, whatever it is you call it. So I think it's a zip file, which means that you need to use WinZip to uncompress, decompress, or extract it. Once that's done, you'll end up with this file eventually, which is the official front end setup. And as you can see, it's pretty damn snazzy because it's a Windows installer at the end of the day. You can't get more simplified than that. So first things first, I don't want this to interfere with my current install of this front end. So I'm going to put GameEx demo on my desktop. Think about the location where you're going to be placing this. This will be static. You don't want to be moving around your front end on your computer. If you're going to put this on an external hard drive or in a different location, you want to think about what drive letter, will that drive letter change, blah de blah, all that kind of good stuff. So think now where you want to put it because it's going to be a pain in the ass if you move it later on down the line. Right, now we've gone through all that, all you need to do is double click the actual executable file or the application itself. Right, first thing it's asking, language English, yes, thank you very much. Now as you can see, it's a generic Windows installer. However, take note because there is a few options that you need to take on board. Click next. Normal standard user license agreement, peruse at your own leisure. I've read it 1,000 times. It's a daily read of mine, but on this occasion I'm going to just accept it. And this is where you want to give the location of your front end, where you want it to end up. So in my setup, I want it to go on my desktop. So it's going to be C drive, users, me, and then why can I not see it? Oh, there we go. Jesus, I'm blind today. And GameEx demo. So now it should install everything that's relevant to this inside that folder. Also, even though I told it to go to that folder, it's also added another folder within there. So it will be in a GameEx folder within that folder I just made. This is a bit of a tongue twister and a bit of Inception, isn't it? But trust me guys, leave that folder there. It will become more apparent later in the install. Once that's done then, click next. Do you want to install a startup menu application folder thingy? Yes, I do. Go on, leave it. And this is where you can add or take away some features with the actual install. Now, GameEx itself isn't just a game launcher. It isn't just a front end for games. It can be utilized in loads, I mean, so many different ways. It's unbelievable. It's a complete media front end. So it can incorporate itself into your XBMC, or Kodi as it's known now, setups. It can incorporate itself into, I don't know, Windows Media Center. It can organize your TV channels. It can organize your movies. It can be a jukebox. It can be a karaoke machine, music selection. It can do anything in terms of media. So there's loads of different options you can do at this stage. Do not worry at this point if you just want games, because you can add and take away further down the line. But I'm just going to keep this vanilla because I just want to show you how to set up games. So I'm going to keep it as it is. Click next. This is going to say what it's going to be doing. Yep, happy with that. And now it's going to install. Now it's a case of leaving it for a few minutes depending on how quick your connection is to the internet and how quick your computer is. But I'm going to fast forward now because I'm just going to be boring watching this install. Okay, then once that's complete, you'll end up with this, which is a box saying that everything's done, a big pat on the back, and now it's going to give you an option to run GameEx when you press finish. Do not do this at this point, so untick that box and click finish. Okay, now what we want to do is to go to the location that we set up GameEx. So in my case, it's on my desktop. Here's the folder that I installed it within, the GameEx, and here is all the files which make up GameEx itself. Now, it looks kind of complicated, but there's only two main ones that you really want to bother about at this stage. First one being the actual GameEx launching program itself. So, find it. There we go, GameEx. Now, as you can see, I've got GameEx MSCL. That may show up as a Windows Media icon, or it may show up as that. What we are concentrating on is the actual GameEx application file. So, what I want to do first off is right-click it, go into Properties, go into the Security, Compatibility tab, and in there, one of the options will be run this program as administrator. Now, depending on what version of Windows you've got, it may be slightly different in the way it's laid out, but you should have that option available to you. Once you've done that, click Apply, click OK, and now GameEx has got enough permissions to make whatever files it needs to be able to run properly on your computer. Next thing we need to do then is right-click again, create shortcut. It's going to be a pain in the ass, keep on navigating back to this location to launch your front end. So create a shortcut and put it as whatever it is you need it. Now, of course, we give it permission to make a start menu so we can launch it from there, but I'm not really a start menu person. So once that's done then, I'm going to put this back into the root. So now I've got my GameEx actual install files and setup located within here, and I've got my shortcut to run it from wherever I want. Okay, tidy that up a little bit. My mouse is going crazy today, don't know what's wrong with it. Next thing then, go into GameEx folder again, got all the way down to the bottom, and it should be a, there we go, setup wizard application file. What you want to do is now run this. This will now set up the front end to our specifications, our setup, and how we want it to run. It can also start putting on your systems. So let's start from the beginning and let's start basic. So click the basic setup first, and these arrows will navigate forwards and backwards depending on, well, what options or what screen you want to show next. So click basic, click next. Then it's asking what language. You've already chosen English, so it's all good. Click next. Right, now we can actually theme GameEx from within here. Now, as standard, there is a, well, look at the options we've got available to us. All kinds of setups and variations in the way that GameEx looks, the way it's brought to our screen. It's pretty damn snazzy. There is also a fountain. I mean, the user and community involvement in this is unbelievable, and people themselves have modded, made their own themes, made it more advanced, taken things away, added more stuff to it. So search around, but what I want to do is just show you how to do it as standard. So let's go, there we go. Let's keep it as it was, so it's default as possible just for this tutorial. Click on next. Okay, so now you can change your audio settings in this tab. So take a look, whatever audio settings you want to do. The only thing I would do is do not put ambience on. It's so irritating for me, it's unbelievable. And it took me ages to find out where to turn it off. Me messing around with options before I've actually played it. That's something to take on board while you're doing all these options. I would keep most things as standard unless it's something that you really need for your setup. Because you can always come back to this wizard and start messing around. But if you change too many settings now, then it may be too confusing later on when you try and put everything back as standard. Okay, if you've got a touch screen, you can set it up on this screen. I'm not, I'm going normal. And if you've got a GameEx online account, in other words, if you're a fully fledged paying member to the GameEx community, you can add your login stuff here. However, I'm not going to bother now because I just want to show you how to get it set up. You can also do some things to do with streaming and all kinds of stuff that is more relevant to the GameEx online experience. Literature, web pages, all kinds of stuff on the website for that. I'm not going to cover that in this movie. This video. Makes it sound like I'm actually entertaining you guys. Okay, video, movie settings. This is if you've got actual, I don't know, your media setup, so you can turn this into a home theater experience. You can add Netflix accounts, YouTube accounts, all kinds of stuff to do with adding your media to this front end. It's pretty damn extensive, to be honest. I'm not going to do this at this stage. This is if you want to use the game-based settings. So game-based is basically a hub full of all kinds of information, media, all kinds of stuff in relation to gaming. Now, if you was to enable this, it would scrape all your games and compare it to those in the game database and get all the features, write-ups, all that kind of stuff, and correspond them to your setup, saving you the heartache of doing it all manually. So if you want that kind of feature, you can add it here. However, if you go to this section here, which is the automatic artwork download, if you've got an MU Movies account, it can sync everything up to that account. So all the high quality media, movies, all that kind of stuff can be downloaded straight from MU Movies without any hassle whatsoever. All you need to do is put your information into here and it will automatically do it when you start adding your, well, front end stuff. Right then, now we can go for our gaming profile. So we've got EA, Origin, Uplay and Steam, the big players in the game. So if you add all your login credentials to this section, then you can sync up all your gaming and PC stuff straight to this front end. It's unbelievable the amount of, I don't know, amalgamation, how they've incorporated all the different features from different types of media into this. But yeah, just add it on there anyway. Next thing then, GameEx Arcade. Basically, if you want to use free flash games and all that kind of stuff from the internet, then you can add it at this point. For me, it doesn't float my boat. I've got enough games as it is, and I like to choose and be happy with what I've got on my front end and know that it's all organized properly. So at this point, I'm going to click no. I would do a bit of research, see what it is that it's actually downloading. For me, it's stuff that I don't really want to play, so I'm going to click no at that point, just to keep things organized properly. Next thing then is the great feature that these guys have added. Let me get rid of this window. You can download all the different systems and emulators that go along with that systems, enabling them to be set up and actually configured on your front end without actually going through all the rigmarole of adding everything manually, all your emulators, downloading everything, all your systems. You can do it all through this section. It's a case of adding them to whatever location you want to go. So if I was you, I would right click in the folder where we did it. Now again, this will become more apparent in a second when we start adding extra features to our front end, but for now, trust me guys, make a folder in here and call that emulators. Now we've got our GameEx install, we've got our emulators folder, and this is asking us where we would like to put all our emulators. For me, I'm going to put this into this PC. Where do we do it? Where's desktop? Oh, there. I'm blind today, as well as illiterate with the way I can talk. And GameEx demo. Emulators, finally. So now, when it downloads whatever emulators that we download using this button, it will download them to that location. It will also ask you, do you want to use its own configuration file? In other words, a default one which is already configured for that front end. It's awesome the way they've gone about this. So whatever systems you want to add, you just tick the box click download, and it will set them all up on your system. Absolutely unbelievable. So once you've gone through all that, all your emulators will be installed in there, and it will all be active within your GameEx folder. Next thing, once you've done all your front ends, in terms of systems, in terms of emulators, and getting all your bits and bobs set up, click on next. Now it's going to say, do you want to set up MAME? Because MAME is going to be the hub, just like 99% of people's setups. That's what it all spears from. So of course you've got all consoles and other arcade machines on there, but MAME is usually the backbone of everybody's front end. So it's asking you now, do you want to set up MAME? And at this point you can go through the process of doing that. For me though, I'm going to click no. Click next, and that is it, guys. That is everything that you need to do to be able to get this up and running on your computer. Everything that we've done here is completely free. There isn't any donations, there isn't anything that you can, I don't know, that you need to do to get this up and running on your machine. The only difference between this version and the paid version at this moment in time, using what we've just used to set this up now, is that when you launch this at first, there will be a 10-second nag screen that will say thank you for purchasing, well, thank you for loading this up, blah de blah. If you want to donate, click here. Once that 10 seconds is done, all the options and everything that is in the paid version is in the free version. So, well, feel free to peruse at your own leisure. Use this as a demo. If you do feel like paying for it, I believe, let's go back to the website, store. Now, these are the different options if you are into paying for this kind of stuff. Now, this is obviously in British pounds, so round this up to dollars. We're going to be looking at, for a 1-year pass to get all the features enabled in GameEx, it's going to cost you £8.40, which is about $10 US. And within there, you'll get everything apart from the standard license. However, what it does do is enable you access to something which I'm going to show you next. That's the cheapest option. If you want to get rid of the nag screen, it's going to cost you about $15. And that's up to you. I would encourage you guys to take a look at the actual free project first to see if it floats your boat, see what you can get set up, and see if it is ideal for you. Then take a look at these kind of pricing structures and see what suits you. To be honest, you can get away with a hell of a lot of the features and what GameEx brings to you with the cheapest option. But please take a look through and see if any of these extras and extra features what come along with these prices float your boat. Right then, now you've seen the free version. Let's see what extras it brings if you do pay a little penny. Okay, so one of the new and great things that are added to the GameEx community is the addition of packs. Now, of course, you can go through, like we just did a second ago, add your systems, add your emulators, set them up, download your art, add your ROMs, and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty much simplistic. However, they've made that even more simpler by giving you a pre-configured setup to work from in the first place. So, in the description down below, you will find a link leading you to this part of the website. Now here is the start of what the GameEx system packs. Now as you can see, we've got a few on offer already, but they are adding to this all the time, guys, and these are being updated all the time also, so keep an eye out for these. Now, like I said, these are for paid members, not because they're trying to dupe money out of you, but because of the size of these packs. These include everything that you will need to get a system up and running on your GameEx front end by taking all the hassle out of it. So it's already got all the art, it's already got all the video snaps, it's already got all the information, the setup, everything you need, even the emulator for getting this up and running on your system. The only thing that isn't included in this is the actual games themselves. Other than that, you are good to go. So in this example here, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to set up the MAME system pack. So this will install MAME in its entirety on my system. Okay, the only thing you need to do is log in, have an account that can do this, because even though it says file size here 2 gigs, this is actually 20 gigs. That's because it covers every game that is usable through MAME in GameEx, which is basically the entire catalog. So it's organized, it comes with its own database, so it will only show you the games that actually work. This is an all-round complete setup with just a few clicks. So if you've got access to this, click on the download this file here. It will be 20 gigs. It's one hell of a download, so be aware of that. There's also a location on the FTP if you want to download it in that way. Again, if you've paid the most minimum membership, you'll have access to both of that. Once you've got it, then you'll end up with this on your system, which is the main system pack. All you need to do is uncompress, decompress like we did with the file earlier on, and you'll end up with this, which is a folder including the main system pack. So what I want to do now is add this to my front end. It's just a case of opening your front end files like we had before, and as you can see, we've already got emulators in our front end packs that we just made. We've got the rest of the files that we'll be utilizing along with it. It's a case of copying this over to where we just installed everything, clicking on the MAME installer pack. My Avast will then kick off. No, it should launch. My security settings, because it's a pretty new install on my computer, is starting to kick off. But this is finally, no, it scanned it. This is the actual pack installer. So it's taken all the issues away from you, all the configuration, all the stuff that makes setting up a system within a front end hard work. It's taken all that away. The only thing you need to do, if you haven't already got it installed, is download GameEx. You can also download the latest version of GameEx Evolution. It's now in its alpha stage. Any of the codecs that you may need. So let's install these. Next. 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 Jesus Christ. Yes, install. I don't want to configure anything at this point. All you need to do is guide it to where you've got everything installed. So in this case, I'm doing GameEx itself. So I need to tell it where GameEx is. So browse. Where's my desktop gone? There. Where have we gone? GameEx demo. GameEx. And that's it. So I've told it where the GameEx folder is. Now I need to tell it where my main games are. So browse. Where did I keep these now? Maybe in my computer. I believe I've got them in my gaming drive. ROMs. Scroll down, find MAME. And then it's just a case of clicking OK. Okay, that is it. That is everything you need to do to get MAME up and running on GameEx. That's how easy it is. So click go. All done. So now, when I go to launch GameEx, first time of me running this as well, don't forget. It will now set up GameEx itself the first time round. Let it go through all its stuff. Now what I'll do is update the list. Yes. So now it'll go through the process of finding each one of those games. It will now correlate each one of those games to its video, to its information, to its wheel, to everything that's needed to get this up and running as a front end on here. It does it all automatically. Of course, the first time you do this, it will take a while because it's got to read every one of those tens of thousands of games and set it up for each one of them. But that's how easy it is. That is now MAME, now on my system. I've just got to let it run, and, well, I'll see you on the other side. Okay then, so once it's done its thing, this is what you end up with. This is me starting this bare bones with default everything across the board. Now, as you can see, I've got MAME up and running, and with that, you can then organize your games, search for them in different ways, organize your entire playlist, not just your games, but your music, movies, TV, even live TV. Everything that goes along with this can be organized in this menu. But we've set up MAME. We've used a pre-configured setup. So let's go in there. Hopefully, if this has worked correctly, I should have all the media, all the write-ups, all the games, all added with all the extras put on top. Of course, presented to me with kind of like the default setup. So it's not exactly going to be very enticing. It's going to be the bare standard. So it's asking me, do I want to update the list? No, I don't. So these are the games. Let's have a look what we've got. awesome games, by the way. So the pack that we've done give us the video snaps, it's given us the marquees, it's given us, well, virtually everything that we need to be able to use this. I'm using the default theme, so there's not much for me to play around with at this time. However, if I was to scroll up to the top here, what I can do is I can organize this list in various different ways, either be by searching, by developers, category, searching for certain games, ones that I've organized, or I can actually just change the view in general and show you, well, different games and how they're set up like this. Awesome. So this is just me setting it up in a matter of minutes. You know, this is what I've managed to come up with in, well, the space of what, less than half an hour? If you dedicate a bit of a day to this, imagine what you could achieve. Also, adding new themes to this, your version of the layouts, making your own themes. The possibilities are absolutely endless. And this is just the GameEx version. There is still other versions out there for you to go along with, and we'll be covering those in a later video. But for now, I just wanted you to get up and running so you can get a taste, so you can see how this front end performs. Of course, now you can go into much more detail, introduce your own themes, test new ideas out, introduce your own media, and I'll be covering a lot of that in, well, videos coming up much sooner. Also, there's going to be a whole dedicated video to the new incarnation of this. It's called GameEx Evolution, and to be honest, it's absolutely awesome. It brings so much new media, it comes up with whole new ideas in terms of representing the actual front end to you, and it's pretty much groundbreaking, even though front ends have become pretty much mainstream nowadays. But anyway, that's for a later video, and it's been a pleasure having this one for you today, guys. Please look forward, because there's lots more front ends coming your way, and lots much. It's been a pleasure seeing you guys today. Please subscribe, please do all the things that people normally do in this YouTube malarkey. But most of all, guys, most of all, you have a good day. Laters!